Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Now today is not like our regular videos. Normally I have some kind of idea as to what we're doing, where we're going, or some kind of subject that I want to cover, and today is not that day. I started out the morning in Creede, Colorado, where I went to a museum that I definitely recommend you checking out on my last video. Super awesome. I had the goal of going from Creede to Gunnison, but along the way I was thinking I'll just play it by ear and find something to do kind of as I go. And wow, this road is filled with scenic turnout after scenic turnout after scenic turnout, and it's just gorgeous. The landscape is amazing. There are so many beautiful flowers. It's just that atypical Colorado quintessential amazingness that you think of when you think of postcards. And so I decided that instead of planning a course of action and finding something that we definitely are going to stop at, just kind of letting the road take us where we go. Now, whenever I left out of Creede, I did see this amazing reconstructed mine site, which was pretty neat, and I wanted to start off by sharing that with you and then just kind of go with it. I don't know what we're going to see today, but just know that anything that you see in this video today is between Creede, Colorado and Gunnison. So lots of ground to cover, and I'm sure that we'll come up with a few fun and interesting things along the way, or it could just be a really scenic video. Did you know that Colorado is absolutely jam-packed with ghost towns? Across the state you can find numerous sites, some of which are accessible by little vehicles like mine over here, and some of which require four-wheel drive. But these communities were actually boom towns at one point, and the home of thousands of different people. And then as things started to change and different kinds of industries dried up or railroads moved and stopped services, these towns fell into disrepair and eventually lost all of their residents. In an effort to preserve the past, several different groups have taken it upon themselves to start coalitions and groups to create restoration services for various sites, such as the one that is behind me. This is actually the clay mill. Now, as you can see, I'm just on a little roadside pull-off just outside of Creede, Colorado, and we're in this beautiful mountain surrounding. But on this pull-off, there are two signs to display the story of this mill and the work that has been done to preserve the structure and recreate it for us today. Here you can find that the mine actually opened in 1928, and whenever it was actually in full swing, this is what it might have looked like right here. Now, after several years, this place in front of us actually fell into severe disrepair, and it wasn't until 2010 whenever they started this project to restore it, and this is what it looked like at that time. Now, I absolutely love making stops like this because you can find out a little bit about the history, but it's really cool also to see that they are preserving these areas for us to kind of better understand what it took to be in that industry at that time. And even if it's just a visual of an old building, the story is apparent through these signs. There's nothing better than mountain air and just slowing it down a little bit to really take in all that there is to see. I mean, this is just a scenic turnout, but wow, it's so nice here. It's so nice. We're about to be entering into the Gunnison National Forest, and right beyond this cattle guard, I know we're in for a treat. Every single national forest in Colorado we've entered into so far, amazing. I'm telling you, every single pull-off is amazing. It just takes your breath away to see all of the gorgeous views, the mountains, and then the forests, and even the death in the forest. It's still beautiful in some strange way. So like this field right here behind me, a lot of people would see it and say, ugh, that's not pretty, but that's part of the natural cycle of life in the forest. So to me, that's beautiful too. And you can see where the fires have come through this area and ravaged a whole bunch of the trees. But just like that, you can also see some of these little new ones popping up. It's amazing. We made it to the summit, guys. Whew, and a little bit of a breeze is blowing in and some rain. It's getting a little chilly, but wow. Wow, the views here are epic. And just like that, the weather changes again. It is now sunny and windy and rainy. Weird. Okay, just after the summit, a little ways down, we found the Windy Point Scenic Overlook. And we have it all to ourselves. This one is a little bit off the road, so, you know, maybe just people are going past it and missing it. But look at this. We're about to have an epic view, I can already tell. Now this right here tells us that we're in the San Juan Mountains and we can see for miles, and that's going to include all of these mountain peaks right here. And as you'll notice, there's a couple on here that are above 14,000 feet. Colorado is known for their 14,000 foot high mountaintops. So we can see that one that kind of spikes up right there, like right there. That's one of them. And then over this way, just a little bit, somewhere in here is another one of them. Approximately 850 years ago, they had something that happened in this area that was basically what we would probably think of as like a mudslide or rock slide, but it was actually much more in depth than just that. It just had kind of the same effects for us visually. So this is kind of what it looks like now. This right over here, see how that one whole section looks completely different than the rest of the mountain? That would be considered to be the toe of active earth flow. And then the top part up there where it looks like it just like broke off, that would be considered to be the Headwall area. Now when this happened, it actually flowed into a natural waterway and kind of did a natural dam, which is absolutely interesting to hear kind of how it happened, because so often the lakes that we see, we don't know how they necessarily were formed, but this one they have a very clear understanding that it was formed as a result of this earthen dam that came sliding down the mountain. Now, why is this something that's relevant today? Well, it hasn't stopped moving. It had another major flow about 350 years ago, but now they estimate that it continues to flow down approximately 20 feet each year. So while we're sitting here staring at it, it is very slowly flowing downward. Weird, right? I knew that this was somewhere in this region. I just had no idea that this highway passed by it. Wow, I'm so happy that we saw this now, because this is super cool and it's not something you just kind of see everywhere. Now, one last look at it. This actually is one of the most visible examples of mass wasting here in the United States. And so that's what mass wasting looks like right there. Super happy we stopped there. Super happy we stopped there. Yeah, I think that's what makes days like today so awesome, because we're just kind of playing it by ear and taking it as we go. And then we find stuff like that. Super neat. Anyway, moving on. And as we come down a little bit further, there's a better view of it right there. So we're gonna pass literally beside it. Wow. You can't see the top part now, but you can definitely see that ridge. I passed through Lake City, and that would be the place if you want to rent a Jeep or an OHV for sure, because they have tons of them. I didn't stick around town too much because it was pretty crowded today, as it is almost the weekend. But as I was leaving, I noticed that there is this amazing like waterway running all the way from Lake City and down the highway here. So I just had to stop. I love the sound of water. There's just something really super peaceful about it. So I definitely had to take in that view. I will say this though, I started off this morning with cell signal in Creede, and then it quickly dropped off. And I haven't had cell signal since then, up until I got to Lake City, and then I only had like 2 bars. Of course, on the flip side of that, I haven't had not one single telemarketer calling me asking if I would like to renew my extended warranty. That's awesome. So sometimes you just want to escape from all of that, and this road is a good way to do it. I'm kind of glad we didn't make plans today, because I've literally taken like 3 hours on something that if I had plans, I'd probably just be powering through. And I like it better this way. I have seen so many beautiful things, and just driving at a slower pace, it's just really calming. Another roadside pull off, and this one has a view. Okay, so we're a little higher in elevation now, and we have a sign back here. We are, wow. I will definitely say this was worth the stop. Gorgeous. Just so amazing. It is so hard for me to do these videos here in Colorado, because I know that it is so beautiful here like this, and I don't know if that's translating to you all at home. The best thing that I can do is say, if you ever get a chance to come to Colorado, do it. It's amazing. And if you're willing to take the time like I am and do these little scenic stops, your mind will be absolutely blown by the amount of amazingness that you can find in this one single state. It is so amazing. Now the signs are always super important because they tell the story, and this one tells the story of how this one little contributor right here that's so pretty that we're enjoying so much is actually just part of the contributing source to the Colorado River, which is right here. And the Colorado River, it is actually contributed to by places all throughout this area. That is insane. And the thing I love about the Colorado River is I have either seen it or something that has impacted it, like everywhere that I have gone. When we were in Nevada, check, it was there. And then we have Arizona, check, yes. Utah, check. Yeah, you can find so many interconnected things as you travel. And that's what I love, finding this amazing stop right here and then finding out that this actually feeds into something we've seen before. Ooh, it's super windy out here, but it feels nice. Woo! Woo! So we came to a little bit of an impasse. I was originally going toward the Gunnison area, but we came to a stop sign, and Gunnison was to the right, and Black Canyon of the Gunnison was to the left. So as soon as I had cell signal, I went ahead and pulled up freecampsites.net, iOverlander, and The Dirt, and I checked to see what kind of campsites were available near the national park. And I think I found us a little gem. So we're on our way from where the road that we were on came to a stop sign to Black Canyon of the Gunnison. And this will give us a nice place for us to enjoy some sleep this evening, and then maybe in the morning we can go to the national park. I don't know. Again, we're just playing it by ear, and along the way we found this beautiful lake. It is absolutely gorgeous. The pull-off here, a little more noisy than the other pull-offs we've been on, but the view itself, so much different than everything else we've seen today. So I really enjoyed that too. Okay guys, looks like we found home for the evening, and I'm not gonna tell you too much about it because it deserves its own video for a lot of different reasons. If you've enjoyed today's video of going along this scenic drive all the way from Creede to this secret location, please leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!